I'm going to show you how to set up the travel trailer for the night. We have just arrived at the David Crockett State Park campground. Crockett State Park, and we are setting up the travel trailer. The first thing we have to do is make sure it's level, and at David Crockett State Park made this super easy for us. This is the most level campsite that we have ever had. Let me show you. We've not found one any more level than this. This little bubble is right in the center. Now we're still hooked up and we put our little foot thing down. That's what stabilizes and helps level it. So we had to check level side to side, but look here. That's level. If both of these are level, the next thing to do is
put the scissor chocks onto the trailer. The socket goes right here on the end where it looks like a bolt.
So it just fits like right on there.
Just fits right on the
cover the.
Just like go on there, right like that.
Okay, so just like that.
Just like that, and we pop it in here.
Now, could you do this manually? Like if I'm out somewhere and the battery on this is dead,
you absolutely can do it manually. In fact, this set of scissor chocks came with a manual wrench. It's just a lot faster to do it with this drill driver, and this is not a special drill driver. I had this laying around the garage, so I just put it in the trailer to use for that. And we were fortunate that the socket that it needs, this is a 19mm socket, and it came with the trailer. It was included with the trailer. Of course, you can you can buy them on Amazon or at Lowe's.
I like Amazon.
Yeah, it'll say things like a RV socket or RV stabilizer jack socket, but it's just a standard 19mm. I'm thinking, don't quote me on this, but I think a 3/4 inch will work as well. But again, this came with the trailer. I really like that. So we'll go put one on the other side too. Follow me. Alright, now we're going to put down our stabilizers. They take the same kind of socket as the scissor jacks do, so that's really handy, and it goes on right here on the very end. So you just fit it on there. Up, and make sure it's turning the right way, and down it goes.
That just labors the whole thing, and then when it kind of goes up a little bit, you stop?
Yeah, when it presses on the ground a little bit, and the edge of the trailer goes up just a smidgen, then I stop.
Okay, what's the yellow thing?
The yellow things are called JT Strong arms, and they're mostly used when you're on uneven ground. This campsite is so level, I don't think we're going to need to tighten them. But what they do is keep the stabilizer from rocking side to side, and makes your camper much more stable. In fact, that was one of the reasons we chose this particular trailer, because it has stabilizing jacks on all 4 corners instead of just in the rear, and that makes it much more stable to be in when they're all down, and especially when the strong arms are locked. There's a little T-bar on the top. You tighten that up, and this thing is just like it's on a foundation. It's really stable. We're definitely not trying to lift the trailer or even level the trailer with these jacks. Once we get it level, these just kind of lock it in place. Now I'll hook up the water. Okay, this is a city water connection. When you're at a campsite or something with, with hookups, you run your freshwater hose. Make sure you've got your freshwater hose, and it screws directly into this.
Okay, we can show you all that in a minute.
Yep.
What's the other?
And the other one is the fill spout for our freshwater tank, and you just take the hose and fill this thing up until it's full, basically.
Okay, so I use that tank for boondocking?
Yeah, you don't use this when you're hooked up to this. You don't need this. This is just for when you don't have hookups, when you're boondocking or on the road or whatever. And when you're using this tank, you have to turn on your inside water pump. But you don't use your water pump other times because it can mess it up. So you don't need the water pump when you're on the city water, on the hookups in the campground, just when you're running off your freshwater tank.
Okay, so when it comes time to the city water connection, this makes it act just like I'm at home. I don't have to turn it on anything inside, any kind of pump.
That's correct.
Okay. I think I've got that so far. How about you all? And by the way, this would be a great time to drop me a like and subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. You always want the white hose for water.
Yep.
And it's got the filter on it.
Yep. And the last campsite was muddy when we packed up, so that's why our clean water hose is so dirty.
But it's only dirty on the outside, right?
That's correct.
Because if it's on the inside,
that would be
Mama's
bad.
going to be mad.
But when I unhooked it, I connect the two ends together immediately, so that
keep the ends clean.
Keep the ends clean and keep any dirt out. So
that makes this bodacious broad happier.
Absolutely. Okay.
Just like a garden hose.
Yep. Straight. There we go. On our drinking water hose, we've got a couple things that are important. Like Gayle mentioned, we've got our filter. That's not essential, but it's really good to have. Something that is essential is a pressure reducing valve. Some campsites have super high water pressure, and you don't want to literally blow up the pipes inside your RV in the middle of the night. So this is a pressure reducer going in the filter, and this elbow here, that's also not required, but it keeps all the strain of the hose and filter from hanging from this connection, which is plastic. So with the elbow on there, everything hangs down like it ought to. Okay.
So the water's hooked up. How do I turn it on with that?
You just lever up, and they're usually quite stiff.
Sort of resembles one of those old-fashioned pumps.
It does.
My great-grandparents used to have an old-fashioned pump in front of their house. So just pull up on it, and I don't need to do anything else?
Nope. And let's get some electricity going on.
So tell me about the breaker box, electrical box. What is this?
This is the electrical box or the breaker box, either one you want to call it.
Okay. Tell me about this.
This one has standard 20 amp like house plug. Also has a 30 amp plug, which is what our RV has.
So the 20 amp house plug, whoa, is that a 110?
Yeah, 110 20 amp. This is 110 30 amp.
Okay.
And sometimes there's a 50 amp for the big rigs, but we don't need that.
Okay. What are the switches?
These are the breakers that turn on the power. So the power is not actually on to the plug right now, and they're not labeled, but we'll turn them both on. And that's it for the power.
Now all it is setting up the steps.
Set up the steps and put out the awning.
It all has to be perfectly level before you can set up the steps.
Mm-hmm. And with this kind of step, the solid steps, I think by Lippert, you've got to have these things folded up before you try to raise or lower the nose of the trailer, because if these things are down and get bound up, like if the trailer weight gets lowered onto them, it will mess up the mount and bend the steps in all sorts of bad ways. So, but they are so much worth the trouble because that one's a little high, my bad. Because they touch.
So those were the right height. We didn't even have to adjust those.
Nope.
Okay. But they do adjust. Can you just show me briefly how they would adjust on the...
Yeah. This pin pops out and you've got quite a bit of adjustment.
Okay.
And when you forget where the hole was, you look at the other side and count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 holes showing. We need to have gas for our hot water heater, for our stove, and if it were in the wintertime, for our furnace.
What's your guys' YouTube channel?
Okay.
So we've got 2 tanks. They're both off. I'm only running on this one. You can turn them both on, but then you don't really know that you're low on gas until you run out. So
it's better to just use one.
yeah, so when this one runs empty, I'll have a full one to switch to, and then I can go get this one filled.
Okay.
So gas is on.
Now, what's the difference in filling a tank versus trading a tank?
About $20. Now, you go to places like co-ops, some travel centers, truck stops, Tractor Supply. That say,
Yay, Tractor Supply.
and they sell you the propane by weight, or they measure it by weight.
So it's like buying a gallon's like buying a gallon of gas.
Yeah,
almost.
yeah, you're just getting
Except they stick it in
propane dumped in your existing tank. If we're at some place that can't fill tanks, we can take this tank into Walmart or most gas stations and swap them out for a filled tank. But it's cheaper to get it refilled at one of those other places.
I like cheap.
Yeah.
Budget travel.
Yay!
And we have to open up the awning.
Yes, we do.
We can't do this while it's storming or windy. There's problems. It can blow off. And so avoid this when it's storming or windy. And that's just a push button inside the travel trailer. And as he goes to set it up, you can see it's not straight level from the travel trailer, and that's because you want it at an angle so the water will drain off if it does indeed rain, which I don't see an abundance of blue skies. Something that we set out a few minutes ago, we also have a camp-sized gas grill and a little bitty gas tank. But this is a special order little tank. You do not trade this in.
No,
You have to have this filled. And we went to Tractor Supply to get it filled. It's a 1 gallon tank, and I'm going to let hubby tell you how much it was because he paid for it.
I almost had to bust out the credit card, but it cost $2.86 to fill that little tank back up.
Hubby over here, he is taking this whole setup one step further. There is this completely optional part that he is putting on right now. The travel trailer string lights.
They make me happy.
So this was all about setting up an RV on level ground. And we didn't do sewer hookups because this park did not have them. A lot of your state parks don't. So we'll do one on sewer hookups when we get to a campground that's got what they call full hookups, which is sewer, water, and electricity. But I want to know, was this helpful? If so, let me know in the comments down below and help me out, please, by giving me a like and subscribing to the channel for more great videos and travel, because you know I'm going across Tennessee to bring you unique places that may be compatible with social distancing. So you're going to want to follow all of those. And remember, it is always hashtag be bodacious. Don't let life get in the way of living. Thank you all for watching. Check out these that are popping up on the screen right now, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.